والمكذبين أولي النعمة ومهلهم قليلا إن لدينا أنكالا وجحيما وطعاما ذا غصة وعذابا أليما يوم ترجف الأرض والجبال وكانت الجبال كثيبا مهيلا إنا أرسلنا إليكم رسولا شاهدا عليكم كما أرسلنا إلى فرعون رسولا فعصى فرعون الرسول فأخذناه أخذا وبيلا فكيف تتقون إن كفرتم يوما يجعل الولدان شيبا السماء منفطر به كان وعده مفعولا إن هذه تذكرة فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا إن ربك يعلم أنك تقوم أدنى من ثلثي الليل ونصفه وثلثه وطائفة من الذين معك والله يقدر الليل والنهار علم أن لن تحصوه فتاب عليكم فاقرؤوا ما تيسر من القرآن علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرؤوا ما تيسر منه وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا وما تقدموا لأنفسكم من خير تجدوه عند الله هو خيرا وأعظم أجرا واستغفروا الله إن الله غفور رحيم صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه
بركة الفاتحة.
بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا رو کے معصوم اے خم سے دیتی ہے صدا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغرباء دیدار نہیں، بھائی قسمت میں میری، دے ہوا کو ذرا حکم اے میرے علی، سن لو آواز تیری، دل بہل جائے میرا، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، دیکھنے آئی ہوں میں خم صورت تیری، اے غریب الغرباء، دیکھ غربت میری، کوئی بتلاتا نہیں مجھ کو مشہد کا پتہ، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، مجھ پہ جو بیت گئے وہ علم کچھ بھی نہیں، سامنے زینب کے میرے غم کچھ بھی نہیں، میں نہ بازار گئی، میں نہ بازار گئی، نہ چھنی میری ردا، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، جب سے پہنچی ہوں میں خم، دل ہے خوابوں میں کہاں، غم زدہ آئے نظر شہر کے پیر و جوان، دیکھ کر کالے علم دل دہلتا ہے میرا، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، جس جگہ خار چبھی، جس جگہ تھک کے گری، پوچھو چھالوں سے ذرا کیسے میلوں میں چلی، زخم پیروں کے تمہیں غم سنائیں گے میرا، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، ساتھ جائے گا میرے یہ غم تنہائی، تم بھی اکبر کی طرح نہیں لوٹے بھائی، روز صغرا کی طرح، روز صغرا کی طرح میں جلاتی ہوں دیا، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، ہوں یتیمہ لیکن وہ یتیمہ تو نہیں، قیدی بابا کی قسم میں سکینہ تو نہیں، جس کے گوہر بھی چھنے، جس کے گوہر بھی چھنے، جس کا دامن بھی جلا، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، خم سے مشہد جو گیا زائر مولا رضا، اے تکلم وہ یہی لے کے پیغام چلا، راستہ تیری بہن اب بھی تکتی ہے تیرا، اے میرے بھائی رضا، اے غریب الغرباء، اے میرے بھائی رضا، بر محمد و آل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
على أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أما بعد، سلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Our discussion is revolving around the subject of why we have so many majalis throughout the year, yet it effects very little change in us. And we are attempting to present a community-specific answer to this problem and this question. And we said that there are three things that are lacking in our community. The first is reading. And then the second is reflection. And the third is reform. And we said that if we try and remedy this problem and inculcate within ourselves the habit of reading and the habit of reflecting and thinking, and inshallah reforming ourselves, then we will find this problem will no longer exist. And each time we learn something new, inshallah, we will be able to implement it in our lives. Tonight we want to talk about reform. We have talked about reading and reflection. Reform. We know that it is wajib on us to protect ourselves and our families from the fire of hell. Allah Azza wa Jal in the Holy Quran clearly commands us, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Protect yourselves and your families from the fire of hell. And so the only way you can do that is to reform yourselves and to correct those things within you that would lead you to the fire of hell. So if there are any habits in your nature or in your character that are leading you towards hellfire, you need to remedy that. We as a community generally, and when I talk about the community, obviously there are exceptions. I'm not saying every individual is like that. I'm saying generally. It's a very general, broad overview. Generally as a community we find there is a lot of stagnancy. There is a lot of lack of movement or advancement in us. Many times after I meet someone whom I met 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I find the person is the same person who was there 15 years ago. No change in thinking, no change in outlook, in worldview. Same person. There is no movement. It's very interesting. These lectures that we give, what do we call them? We call them Majlis. Majlis comes from jalasa, which means to sit. Majlis actually in Arabic means gathering. When a person is seated, he's not moving, he's sitting. He's stationary. Even when we go out for processions, what do we call them? Julus. Julus is the same, sitting. We are moving, but we call it sitting. We are a sitting community. We are not a moving community. In reality, these gatherings, the gathering is called majlis, but the lecture is not called majlis. It's muhadara. It is a lecture. The procession we go is masir. It is not julus. Yes, we call it julus, but you understand we have this mentality where we are not moving, we are stagnant. So we want to reform. The problem is whenever we talk about islah and reform, we are always looking outwards. We want to reform others. We don't want to reform ourselves. So what we do is, when you want to reform someone, the first thing you think of is looking for that person's faults. This one has this fault and that one has this fault. Probably one of the easiest thing to find is a fault in someone else. And we use different terminology. We say, no, I'm doing amr bil ma'roof. Oh, I'm doing amr bil ma'roof. It's wajib. I have to. Actually, what you are doing is fault finding and judging others. Amr bil Ma'ruf is something very different. For Amr bil Ma'ruf, there are certain conditions. The first condition is you should know what is Ma'ruf. And you should know what is Munkar. Then you do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. So what we are mostly doing for the most part is fault finding. It's very interesting. In Nahjul Balagha, there is a sermon in which the context of the sermon is that Amr ibn al-As went to Syria and he wanted to say something bad about Imam Ali alayhi salam. He wanted to look for a fault. Now, what fault can you find in Imam Ali alayhi salam? Think about it for a minute. If you talk about bravery, he is at the foremost. Till we are told, La fata illa Ali, la sayfa illa Zulfiqar. Ya Ali. If you look at generosity, he is at the foremost. Till the ayah is revealed that who is giving the ring in ruku', who is giving وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ. So you can't question his generosity. If you look at justice, his justice is so great that the ulama say, قُتِلَ عَلِي فِي مِحْرَابِهِ لِشِدَّةِ عَدْلِهِ. It's because of the severity of his justice. He was so just. So Amr ibn As now is trying to look for a fault of Mawlas to give the Syrians, to tell the Syrians. And he can't find any fault. So he says he is very facetious. Meaning what? He jokes a lot. He's very humorous. He jokes. He laughs with the people. In today's terminology, we would call it not being presidential enough. Have you heard? This person is not presidential enough. He wants to be Khalifa, but he's not. So he's very calm and approachable and joking with the people and jovial. So he uses the word du'aba and til'aba. It's in khutbah number 83 of Nahjul Balagha. So Imam Ali says, Amr ibn As went to the Syrians and he accused me of being too humorous. As if I am not a serious person. And then the Imam replies this. So we have this disease in us sometimes, that we try to look for faults in others. But the Quran tells us very beautifully, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب أفلا تعقلون. Do you want to command people to be good and to do good things, but to forget your own selves? You start with yourself. And then you look at others. The problem is immediately we want to look at others. So when you talk about reform, immediately you think A should reform himself, B should reform herself, this part of the community should reform itself. Nobody sees, how should I reform myself? You start with self-reform. Then you move on to reform others. A beautiful hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. He says, طوبى لمن منعه عيبه عن عيوب المؤمنين من إخوانه. طوبى, blessed is one whose own faults prevent him from looking at the faults of his brothers. His own faults prevent him from fault finding, looking for the faults of others. And you want to reform other people? Our Mawla Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. He says very clearly, Man lam yuslih nafsahu, lam yuslih ghayrah. One who does not reform himself cannot reform anyone else. So you must begin with yourself. If you keep yourself first and reform yourself, then and then alone will you have the capacity and the ability to reform other people. So you start with yourself. The problem is, in this act of fault finding, we start thinking and looking at things that do not concern us. We want to look for a fault in somebody, we start what they say in Gujarati, panchati vera. No, panchati, somebody who wants to know things about others which don't concern them. In Arabic we say ma la ya'nik. Things that do not concern you about other people, you are worried about that. You want to know, you are curious. Why? Because you want to find fault in them. So you want to know what does not concern you. This is very important. So let's go back to our favorite character, Mullah Nasiruddin, the Turkish mullah. One day somebody comes to Mullah Nasiruddin and says, you know what? Your neighbor is cooking halwa. Your neighbor is cooking halwa. So Mullah Nasiruddin asks him, what's that to me? What is that to me? How does that concern me? He says, no. He's cooking the halwa for you. So Mullah Nasiruddin asks him, then what's that to you? If he is cooking halwa for you, for me, so why are you getting involved? Unfortunately, that is the mentality of many people. They want to know things about others that do not concern them. Ma la ya'nihim. And the riwayat are many. They say, da' or utruk ma la ya'nik. Leave aside the things that do not concern you about others, the personal affairs of others. Keep away from it. It is not something that concerns you. Keep away from it. And that will help you in avoiding this problem of fault finding, looking for faults and judging others. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali. Now, when we want to reform ourselves, we have realized that we begin with ourselves. How do we reform ourselves? Again, we turn to Nahjul Balagha. Nahjul Balagha has a beautiful prescription. In sermon number 89, Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam says, وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّهُ مَنْ لَمْ يُعَنْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ حَتَّى يَكُونَ لَهُ مِنْهَا وَاعِظٌ وَزَاجِرٌ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ مِنْ غَيْرِهَا لَا زَاجِرٌ وَلَا وَاعِظٌ. Basically, this means that one who doesn't have within his own conscience an admonisher and an advisor, nobody outside himself will be able to be his admonisher and his advisor. Meaning that within your own mind and your own soul, if you cannot advise yourself, if you cannot admonish yourself for what you have done, don't expect anyone to admonish you and you will listen. You will not listen to anyone. We are answering the question, isn't it? Why are the majalis not affecting us? Because we are not reprimanding ourselves. We are not questioning ourselves. In our eyes, there can be nobody like me. I am the best. I am perfect. How can that be? How can that be? The moment you start questioning yourself and using introspection to see where you are wrong so that you can improve, then when somebody else comes to you, you will listen to them. It will affect you. You will say, yes, I want to be a better person. I want to reform. But if you don't have that within you, nobody from outside can do it. Look at this prescription. So beautiful from Amirul Mu'min. So when we understand this, then we realize where the problem lies. And so we realize that reform is a painful process, a gradual process. It's something that requires effort. It doesn't happen overnight. Yes, there are some exceptions. We have exceptions. Like the case of Bishr al-Hafi. We all know the story of Bishr al-Hafi. When he comes to our seventh Imam, Imam Musa al-Kadhim, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, running barefoot to the Imam, after the Imam had told his slave girl that whose house is this? Is he a free man or a slave? And the slave girl told him he is a free man. The Imam said, indeed he is a free man. If he was a slave of Allah, he would not behave like this. So he came running to the Imam without any sandals, with bare feet. That is why he's called Hafi. And the Imam speaks to him. At that moment, he is transformed. He is reformed instantaneously. These are exceptions. Or the case of Fudayl ibn Iyad. Fudayl ibn Iyad was that highway robber who would rob the people very violently. And one day, he is walking in the middle of the night and he hears the recitation of Quran. He hears this verse from Surah Al-Hadid. ألم يأن للذين آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق. Is it not about time that those who believe now begin fearing Allah? At that instant, it transformed him. He changed. He became a reformed individual. He returned all the money he had stolen. But my dear brothers and sisters, these are exceptions. These are not the rule. The rule in reform is that it is a difficult process. It is a process done voluntarily. It is a process that begins from within. Don't blame anybody. Anybody. Our community is a blaming community many times. Sometimes it's the Maulana's fault. Sometimes it's the madrasa's fault. Sometimes the school. Sometimes this one. Sometimes, Baba, it begins with you. You want to know whose fault it is? Look in the mirror. That is the person whose fault it is. You begin the reform process. Once you begin, you will see Allah opens the doors for you. Then reform can continue. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And we have to reform before it is too late. We mentioned death yesterday. Death comes at any time. Doesn't see young, doesn't see old, doesn't see anything. It is so beautiful. One of the commentators of Nahjul Balagha says that Allah Azza wa Jal counts the age of His human beings, His creatures, in a different way. How do we count our age? How do we count our age? In days? In years? Months? That's how. Allah does not count our age in days, years, and months. He counts our age in breaths. How many breaths have been written for you? Each breath you take minus is 1 from your total lifespan. Each breath. So your age in Allah's book is in the number of breaths you will take on this planet. Once you have taken your last breath, that is the end. So we don't have unlimited time. Reform takes time and effort. Start now, immediately. And one person reforms, 2 people reform, 3 people reform. Then the community reforms. Don't wait for others to start. You start yourself. This is very important. So what are the steps? Let me very briefly give you the steps and then we move on, inshallah. We want to talk about Imam Ridha alayhi salam tonight. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Talking about reform, how do we reform ourselves? Step number 1, yaqza. Yaqza means becoming awake. Wake up from your slumber of heedlessness. Self-awakening. And it entails something very simple. Just remind yourselves that you are flawed individuals. You are not perfect individuals. That's all. You want to reform? The first thing is you realize I have flaws in me. I have problems in me. I have faults in me. Let me look for them. Let me realize, yes, this is. If you don't admit the sickness, you cannot cure the disease. So first step is yaqza, self-awakening. Realize that you are a flawed individual. Once you do that, now your attention is inward. You're not looking at others and their faults. You realize I am a flawed individual. You're looking at yourself. Step number 2, muhasabah. Self-evaluation. Now the beauty of self-evaluation in Islam is that it is a continuous process. Every day, when you sleep at night, before you go to sleep, you think, what did I do today? What good did I do? What bad did I do? How can I improve myself? Muhasabah. It's so beautiful in a hadith from Imam al-Kadhim, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. He says, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ لَمْ يُحَاسِبْ نَفْسَهُ فِي كُلِّ يَوْمٍ. He who does not self-evaluate every day is not from us, meaning not from our Shia. فَإِنْ عَمِلَ حَسَنًا ازْدَادَ اللَّهَ شُكْرًا. If he did good, he should thank Allah. Oh Allah, thank you for giving me the tawfiq to give sadaqah today, to be kind to the poor, to all these good things. He thanks Allah. وَإِنْ عَمِلَ سَيِّئًا استغفر الله وتاب إليه. If he did something wrong, he seeks repentance from Allah. He does tawbah. This every day, if you do this every day, muhasabah, it helps you in self-reforming. And the third step then is Muraqabah. Now you have evaluated yourself. Now you have to preserve yourself. Muraqabah means to preserve yourself. From what? From sins. And shaitan, he goes to the pious people first. Those who are sinners, they are already his. He doesn't go to them. You're already part of his company. He will go to the pious people and he will try to beguile them. There was once a pious man who had financial problems. Whatever he did, he could not earn. He was finding life very difficult. So shaitan said, aha, this is good prey for me. He went to him. He said, you want me to teach you a way by which you will become very rich. Mala mal ho jayega. You want? He said, yes. Go and invent a religion. Invent what? A religion. You will become wealthy beyond your dreams. And this is in one of the shuruh of Nahjul Balagha. Very beautiful story. The man goes, now he's desperate. What can he do? So he invents a new religion. And he becomes the prophet of that religion. And people, ignorant people, you'll always get some followers or the other. Every person has followers. Even if he speaks the most foolish of things, you will see 100 followers, 200. There are some people who would follow such. So slowly and gradually people started following his religion. And he became very rich because people would give him gifts, they would pay him zakat, they would give. He could make any rule he wanted because it was his religion. He invented a religion. Now he was a pious man. As he became so wealthy, one day he thought to himself, what have I done? Allahu Akbar, I have invented a religion. What answer will I give my Lord on the day of judgment? Now he goes to the people. Oh people, no. Stop, please. Stop following. I just invented that religion. What did the people say? He said, no, you have gone crazy. The religion is true. You have lost your mind. They were not ready to stop following him. So he does tawbah and he does istighfar, and a message comes to him from Allah. Allah sends one of his messengers, tell this servant of mine, no matter how much istighfar he does, I will not forgive him. Until he brings all those people whom he misguided back to my path. And that was impossible. And so shaitan is always after those who are self-reforming. So you have to have muraqabah. Muraqabah means you are vigilant. You are vigilant and not allowing anything to beguile you, not allowing shaitan to beguile you, your nafs to beguile you. Once you do these 3 simple steps, then you are on your way to self-reform, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So to conclude our subject, we said we have a problem, and the problem is that we are listening to the majalis, the lectures, but it is not helping us. And we offered the solution. Let us try and improve certain things within ourselves. Let us become a reading community. Let us become a reflecting community. And then let us work towards self-reform. Inshallah, following these steps, we will then become a progressing community, an advancing community towards Allah Azza wa Jal. That is our dua, and that is the end of our subject. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Being the night in which we commemorate the martyrdom of our 8th Imam, Imam Ali al-Ridha, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. It is prudent for us to remember some things about this great Imam. And there are some parallels in his life and what we are experiencing today with our Imam who is in Ghaibah. There were 3 major challenges that our 8th Imam faced in his 20 years of Imamah. He had 20 years of Imamah, 3 major challenges. The first challenge he faced was after the death of his beloved father, a new group sprung up known as the Waqifiyah. Waqifiyya were those people who claimed that Imam al-Kadhim had not died, but he was in ghaibah. And why did they make this claim? Because at that time they were the wukala of the Imam, and they held in their possession huge sums of money belonging to Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam. They knew that if we were to accept the imamah of Imam Ali al-Ridha alayhi salam, we would have to hand over to him these huge sums of money. And so because they did not want to do that, they made a false claim that the seventh Imam is still alive, but he is in ghaibah. They were known as the Waqifiyya. So the eighth Imam's first challenge was against the Waqifiyya. The second challenge of our eighth Imams in his imamah was that his son, who was born to him, Imam al-Jawad, was born very late in his life, after the age of 40. So all his companions and followers were thinking, who is going to be the Imam after you? If you are truly the Imam always has a son who will become the next Imam. And they are seeing that the Imam is growing older and older. He's above 40. He doesn't have any son. He got a son very late in life. So that was his second challenge, because now the Shia are doubting, is he truly our Imam? And the third reason, the third challenge that the Imam faced, and what made his Shia doubt in him, is his acceptance of the vicegerency or the Waliya Ahdi of Mamun al-Abbasi. He became the crown prince. How can an Imam become the crown prince of this dhalim? They asked themselves. So they had this question in their mind. Obviously, we know from our history that the Imam was forced to accept this position. And he accepted with many conditions. But still, some of his companions doubted. So the Imam faced these three major challenges, and he had to explain the people. And did you know that the Imam, there were 3 attempts on his life, 3 assassination attempts. It was only the 3rd time that he was martyred. The first time somebody wanted to assassinate him, he was one of the Khawarij. He said to his people that how can this person who claims to be the Imam become the crown prince of this Zalim Ma'mun? So he poisoned a dagger, and he kept the dagger hidden in his sleeve, and he went to the Imam. He said to his people, I will ask him, why did you accept this position? And if he gives me a good reason, then fine. If not, I will remove the poisoned dagger and I will kill him there and then. So he comes to the Imam and he asks the 8th Imam, why did you accept the position of being the crown prince to Ma'mun? The Imam says, first and foremost, promise me one thing. If you are satisfied with my answer, this dagger you have hidden in your sleeve, you will break it and throw it away. The man is surprised. Immediately he takes out the dagger, he throws it away. He said, okay, now tell me. The Imam says, is Ma'mun a Muslim or not? Even bidahir, openly, apparently, is he a Muslim or not? He says, yes, openly he's a Muslim, apparently he's a Muslim. He says, then what about Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam? Prophet Yusuf was a prophet of Allah. But he told the wali of Misr, who was not even a Muslim, Ij'alni ala khaza'in al-ard inni hafidhun alim. Make me your treasurer. How could Yusuf alayhi salam, who was a prophet of Allah, work for this non-believing governor? And that is fine. But when I am a crown prince of a Muslim Khalifa, you are causing a problem with that. So the man is satisfied with this answer and he leaves. So that was the first time when somebody actually had the intention of killing the 8th Imam alayhi salam. Now, Ma'mun forced the Imam to accept that position. The Imam, in his wisdom, he said, I will accept, but the condition is I will not get involved in any government matters, in any decision making. Imam knew, this person is zalim. How can I be involved in the government of an unjust oppressor? I cannot. So, he said, I'm not participating in the government. That's my condition. So Mamun said, no problem, come. Now Mamun is seeing that the Imam is secluding himself, he's not participating in any meetings, he's not satisfied. Why? Because Mamun had an agenda when he met the Imam, his crown prince. And it's not working. So he told the 8th Imam, I want you to go and lead Eid al-Fitr prayers. You know, usually the leading of Eid al-Fitr prayers or such great events are done by the Khalifa or his vice, his deputy. So it's by him going out, Mamun thought that now people will realize that he is part of my government. He's with me. First the Imam said, no, excuse me. Mamun insisted, no, please, you must. So Imam Ridha gave the condition. He said, okay, but I will do it the way my great-grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi went out for Eid prayers. You agree? Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Yes, Mamun said, I agree. However you want to do it, but you go out. He said, okay. That day of Eid, the Imam, early in the morning, he takes ghusl. He wears a white turban, the way Rasulullah used to wear it. Barefooted, holding an asa, he comes out of the house. Now the people knew that Imam Ridha is going to be leading today, so they had gathered in large numbers around his house. He came out of his house, first he recited Takbir, Allahu Akbar, 3 times. And the riwayah says when he recited, it was as if everything in creation was echoing his takbir. It was reverberating. And the people recited after him. And then he walked a few steps and then he stopped. Again he recited takbir. Everyone repeated. It was a sight to see. When the minister of Mamun saw this, he ran to Mamun. He said, oh Mamun, stop him now. If you do not stop the Imam now, your hukuma is gone. Your caliphate is gone. The people are with him. Look at how he is leading them. It penetrated into the hearts of the people, just how he was walking towards Eid namaz. It is said, those who are the commanders of Mamun, they tore their shoes, because their shoes, you know, the commanders wear those thick shoes, it's difficult to remove. They tore their shoes so that they could be barefooted like the Imam, and they were all following the Imam. This chief minister went and said, Mamun, stop him, stop him, stop. Immediately Mamun sent a messenger, oh Imam, stop, stop. So he did not lead the prayers. This, imagine just walking. Imagine what would have happened had he led the prayers. This is from the life of the Imam. Now, when such a thing happens, obviously the ruler realizes that he is a threat for me. So Mamun tells some of the slaves, I want you to go in the middle of the night with your daggers, with your spears, with your swords, and assassinate the Imam. They go. They come back. This is the second assassination attempt on Imam Ridha alayhi salam. They go. They come back, they say, we have done it. The next morning, Mamun comes out. He pretends, you know, he's disheveled hair and everything, and he's pretending, he's preparing himself to mourn the Imam whom he has assassinated. At that moment, the Imam walks in. Shocked! Mamun is like, what happened? Now, we don't know. The riwayah doesn't tell us what happened. Was the Imam saved by some miracle, or somebody else was killed, or what happened? We don't know. But it did not work out. The Imam came healthy into the gathering. Mamun couldn't say anything. The color on his face changed, that's all. This was the second time when the Imam, they tried to assassinate. Now, when the final time came, and this was the time of the martyrdom of the Imam tells Harthama, Mamun will assassinate me, and he will give me poison juice to drink, and I will leave this world. Why? The Imam wanted people to know that he is going to be assassinated, because Mamun was a clever politician. He wanted to pretend that the Imam fell sick and died. He didn't want to show that he is behind the assassination. So the Imam tells Harthama that this is how I will be assassinated. And according to different riwayat, the way in which the Imam was martyred is mentioned differently. Some say that it was in pomegranate juice, anar juice. Some say it was with grape juice. Some say no, it was not juice. It was inside the grapes that they put the poison. In any case, according to one narration, the Imam tells his companion Abu Salt, Ya Aba Salt, tomorrow I will be called by this la'een and he will poison me. I will go with my abba. If I come out and you see me wearing the abba, normally you can talk to me. But if you see me covering my head with the abba, don't talk to me. He goes to Mamun. Mamun gives him the poison grapes. The Imam has the grapes, 1, 2, and then he leaves the rest. Mamun says, finish them, finish them. He says, Mamun, your job is done. What you wanted to do is done. And the Imam covers his head and he goes back. And 2 days, writhing in pain, shivering, and the poison goes through his body and he leaves this world. But openly they come and honor him, and they give him ghusl, and they give him kafan, and they bury the Imam. But the Imam is called Gharib al-Ghuraba because he was far from his family. But do you know that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein was also Gharib when he was in Karbala and no one remained? The cry came from him, Hal min nasirin yansuruni. Can you imagine the grandson of Rasulullah, the one most beloved to Rasulullah, is crying out, anybody can come to help us? Is there anyone who can come to assist us? And no answer came until that young baby fell from the cradle and the women began to weep. He went to ask them, why are you weeping? I am still alive. They said, Abdullah al-Radi, Aliyun al-Asghar, when he heard your nidaya istighatha, he fell from the cradle. The Imam took his child. Look at the ghurba, look at the ghurba. A small 6-month-old child in front of the people. The poet put it beautifully. The Imam is telling his Shia, Shi'ati, ليتكم في يوم عاشوراء جميعا تنظروني. Oh my Shia, I wish on the day of Ashura you could all see me. كيف أستسقي لطفلي فأبوا أن يرحموني. How I asked them for water for my baby, but they did not show any rahmah to me. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين حسين.
اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا رو کے معصوم آئے قم رو کے معصوم آئے قم سے دیتی ہے صدا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا تیرا دیدار نہیں بھائی قسمت میں میری دے ہواؤں کو ذرا حکم ہے میرے علی سن لو آواز تیری سن لو آواز تیری دل بہل جائے میرا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا دیکھنے آئی ہوں میں قم میں صورت تیری اے غریب الغرباء دیکھ غربت میری کوئی بتلاتا نہیں کوئی بتلاتا نہیں مجھ کو مشہد کا پتہ اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا مجھ پہ جو بیت گئے وہ علم کچھ بھی نہیں سامنے زینب کے میرے غم کچھ بھی نہیں میں نہ بازار گئی میں نہ بازار گئی نہ چھنی میرے ردا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا یا حسین
حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا تجھ سے ملنے کے لیے کتنے میلوں کا سفر تیری زینب نے کیا ہے اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا اے غریب الغرباء اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا مجھ کو پردیس میں یہ بات رلاتی ہی رہی. دور ہوں گھر سے مگر سر پہ ردا ہے بھائی. بنت زہرا نے مگر شام و کوفہ کا سفر بے ردا کیسے کیا ہے. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی وزا مجھے ہم شیر فدا. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا
تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا.
تیرا دیدار بنا بھائی نہیں رہ سکتی. غم میں فرقت کا تیری اور نہیں سہ سکتی. کیا مجھے بھول گئے تم کو بہنا سے ملے. ایک برس بیت گیا ہے. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا. غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے
بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا.
تم کو زندان میں کہیں قید نہ کر لے کوئی. میرے بابا کی طرح زہر نہ دے دے کوئی. جی نہیں پاؤں گی میں سن کے مر جاؤں گی میں. تم کو گر کچھ بھی ہوا ہے. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا
تجھ پہ ہم
شیر فدا. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے
بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا.
باپ کی طرح میرے سر پہ تیرا سایہ ہے. اپنی بیٹی کی طرح تو نے مجھے پالا ہے. تو ہے اے بھائی جہاں مجھ کو بلوا لے وہاں ہوگا احسان تیرا ہے. غریب الغربا کہ میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا
تجھ پہ ہم
شیر فدا. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے
بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا.
ساتھ ہم ہوتے اگر شام کو جاتے بھائی پھر سکینہ کے لیے اشک بہاتے بھائی. کیا نہیں تم کو خبر آ گیا ماہ سفر وارث کرب و بلا ہے. اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر
فدا. اے غریب
غربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا غربا ہے میرے بھائی
رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا
موت سے پہلے مجھے ملنے برادر آ جا اپنی صغرا کے لیے اے میرے اکبر آ جا دل میں حسرت ہے میرے دیکھ لوں چہرہ تیرا پھر مجھے آئے قضا ہے اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تجھ پہ ہم شیر فدا
رو کے معصوم آئے کن رو کے معصوم آئے کن
تم سے دیتی ہے صدا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا رو کے معصوم آئیکم رو کے معصوم آئیکم کم سے دیتی ہے صدا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا تیرا دیدار نہیں بھائی قسمت میں میری بے ہواؤں کو ذرا حکم ہے میرے علی سن لو آواز تیری سن لو آواز تیری دل بہل جائے میرا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا دیکھنے آئی ہوں میں کم میں صورت تیری اے غریب الغربا دیکھ غربت میری کوئی بتلاتا نہیں کوئی بتلاتا نہیں مجھ کو مشہد کا پتہ اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا مجھ پہ جو بیت گئی وہ علم کچھ بھی نہیں سامنے زینب کے میرے غم کچھ بھی نہیں میں نہ بازار گئی میں نہ بازار گئی نہ چھنی میری رضا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا جب سے پہنچی ہوں میں کم دل ہے قابو میں کہا غمزدہ نظر شہر کے پیر و جوان دیکھ کر کالے علم دیکھ کر کالے علم دل دہلتا ہے میرا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا کس جگہ خار چبھے کس جگہ تک کے گری پوچھو چلو سے ذرا کیسے میلوں میں چلی زخم پیروں کے تمہیں زخم پیروں کے تمہیں غم سنائیں گے میرا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی رضا اے غریب الغربا اے میرے بھائی مظلوم بے وطن یہ میرا مولا رضا ہے 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 جس کو زہر لو کو مسلمان نے دیا ہے جس کو زہر لو کو مسلمان نے دیا ہے مظلوم بے وطن یہ میرا مولا رضا ہے مظلوم بے وطن یہ میرا مولا رضا ہے مظلوم بے وطن یہ میرا مولا رضا ہے مامون عباسی کی نایت ہے یہ لوگوں مظلوم بے وطن یہ میرا مولا رضا ہے 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 سب آنکھیں کرو بند دعائی ہے دعائی ایک بی بی آزادہ تو
بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
We are requested to recite Amma Yujibu 5 times for someone who is unwell in the hospital. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibul mustarra iza da'a shifusu. Amma yujibul عما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء عما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء عما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. اللهم صل على Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Inshallah, reminder for tomorrow's program, there will be a majlis at the residence of Ali Bhai Rojani beginning at 1:30 p.m. inshallah, followed by Niyaz. All members are requested to join inshallah. Nextly, tonight's Niyaz has been kindly donated by Bande Khuda. Let us recite a Surah Fatiha for their marhumin and Kul marhumin, along with a special Surah Fatiha for marhuma Nargis Kimji. Al-Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا مولاتي يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا علي زين العابدين. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا محمد الباقر. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا جعفر الصادق. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا موسى الكاظم. Let us take our hearts to مشهد. السلام عليك يا ولي الله وابن وليه. السلام عليك يا حجة الله وابن حجته. السلام عليك يا إمام الهدى والعروة الوثقى ورحمة الله وبركاته. أشهد أنك مضيت على ما مضى عليه آباؤك الطاهرون صلوات الله عليهم. لم تؤثر عما على هدى ولم تمل من حق إلى باطل، وأنك نصحت لله ولرسوله وأديت الأمانة، فجزاك الله عن الإسلام وأهله خير الجزاء. أتيتك بأبي وأمي زائرا عارفا بحقك مواليا لأوليائك معاديا لأعدائك، فاشفع لي عند ربك. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا ابن رسول الله ورحمة الله وبركاته. أشهد أنك الإمام الهادي والولي المرشد. أبرأ إلى الله من أعدائك وأتقرب إلى الله بولايتك. صلى الله عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا محمد الجواد، السلام عليك يا مولاي يا علي الهادي، السلام عليك يا مولاي يا حسن العسكري، السلام عليك يا مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الحجة المنتظرة المهدي، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته.